Okay, another sketchbook flip through here today, and this is a neon green moleskin sketchbook. I usually use a black one, but I switched it up, and I started this one earlier this year in March. I kind of quit halfway through the year and then moved on to another sketchbook, so I'm just kind of flipping through this one. Although I didn't finish the entire thing, I filled about half of the sketchbook, and then there's about 25 pages that I didn't fill. So I'm going to go back and fill it later. And this sketchbook has a lot of robots, a lot of different cyberpunk helmets and stuff. A lot of the same stuff that I'm drawing now. This is the first sketchbook where I'm doing a lot of that. And so I haven't looked at these drawings in a while. It's been a little bit. And there are some little pistols, some guns, vehicles, and things that I was drawing, and I haven't drawn in a few months, so I'll have to go back and do that. And I like the coloring. I definitely need to do some more of this on specifically the weapons and some of the vehicles where I'm using two different colors at the same time, like a bright purple, maybe a bright yellow, and then mixing them together. I did notice I was starting to draw some different characters and hieroglyphic looking designs almost, and incorporating that in these drawings, which I've gone back to, and I'm kind of working on my own little language for my sketchbook. The next one maybe, and maybe I'll do a comic where I'm putting together this unique alien language, and then in the back of it I'll have the whole alphabet so you can kind of go through it, and if you want to learn the language or whatever, probably not, because that takes a lot of time, but something like that. I like making new things and just wacky, interesting, fun stuff like that. There's some spaceships in here that I do like. This page, these few little drawings here that I'm flipping through, I like these where I'm just putting a lot of diagrams and words down, not really knowing what I'm doing, but just making it look good. And I like cross-hatching, and so I added that in some of these pages where I'm making spirals up with kind of tangles and tangled cords and stuff. Pretty good sketchbook. If I had to give it a rating out of 10, I would probably say a 6, because it's pretty average sketchbook that I would make. But it's got color, it's got more ideas and stuff. I definitely can get inspiration with the pistols, and which are very fun to draw. If you haven't tried drawing pistols in this angle, this isometric angle, which I'm calling it, that I've recently been doing, I draw in that angle a lot, the same perspective. But anyways, the sketchbook that I'm currently drawing in is about 19-20% of the way finished, and I'm working very hard on filling in 99% of the page, and also adding some shadows, doing a little bit of shading here and there, and really filling up the whole page, because a lot of my drawings do look like coloring book pages, which is good if I'm making a comic, but I want them to look more finished, more complete, rather than just half finished or a coloring book page or a manga or what have you. But I like these drawings. They're pretty good in this neon sketchbook. I definitely notice that I'm drawing the same thing a lot over and over, and in this sketchbook, and the black sketchbook that I have right now it has more ideas. I'm drawing aliens, wizards, pirates. I did draw like 2 pirates in the sketchbook that are pretty good. Kind of inspired by Adventure Time, the style that I'm going for. Some of my characters, I do like taking different inspiration from cartoons and adding that in, which is pretty fun. I'm not sure how many pages are in this sketchbook. I'm gonna have to look that up later. I should know. I think there's 200 or 300, but I forget. I always forget how many pages are in these sketchbooks. And the sketchbook I have now is, I actually don't know what it's called. I'm so used to using moleskin sketchbooks, I don't even know. I like what's going on here on this page, on these later pages, where I'm using a brush pen, a Faber-Castell, and it gives a unique look to the drawings because it has a blocky shape when I'm using a brush pen. When I'm using colored pencils and markers, it's more difficult to give a geometric, blocky texture to the drawings, but when I'm using a brush pen, it's very cut and clean, and I like that. I like how brush pens look. Haven't used them in a while, so I'll have to go back. And then I also use some colored ink, a lot of blue and green, and I kind of stopped using the blue ink because I ran out of my micron. But I think I have a little left in there. I don't know. Anyways, pretty good drawings here. And it took a while to finish this. Actually, I started out pretty quick. I filled a lot of pages in a month, and then towards April, the end of May, I kind of slowed down and just went into another sketchbook, which I do a lot because I want to fill as many sketchbooks as I can. I just like having a stack and how it looks. And also I want to move on to different styles, to making different artwork. And so that's what I've done. But I guess I'm going to have to go back because that's a waste of paper if I just leave it, if I don't use that. So I like the fish drawings here. See these? See these little fish? They're pretty nice. Did a little cross hatching on them. I could have colored them in, but I like how they are just pretty simple, basic doodles. I guess they're not really drawings, they're doodles, which a lot of these pages are. But some of them I would consider drawings. And then there's some more spaceships. I like this one. I like the blue and yellow. That's a good color combination. Blue and yellow. Fantastic. Blue and pink. And yeah, I'm going to have to draw more of these. With the blue and yellow, the spaceships. I haven't drawn spaceships in maybe 2 weeks. 2 or 3 weeks. I need to go back and do some of that. And then there's also some machines later in this sketchbook. I tried coming up with some inventions, some little things, and I like doing that. I'm a big fan of making absurd and obscure art, blueprints for diagrams and inventions that make no sense. I like doing that. I don't know why. I've always, when I started drawing consistently, when I was about 13 or 14 every day, I started out drawing diagrams, machines, and abstract doodles mainly. And now I've moved more into drawing robots and spaceships, which I plan on doing for the next few years because I feel like it's a good little niche, and I just like the concept of futuristic stuff and AI, artificial intelligence. Although I don't really use it because I like physical sketchbooks. I like the fact that I can just open it up and it's there. With the digital art, I don't really trust it, honestly. I'm going to be honest. I don't trust digital art because you can always lose it unless you put it onto a hard drive or something and double, triple copy it or whatever. But maybe I'll do digital art. I'll try it out. But it doesn't seem that satisfying. I mean, digital art just doesn't seem satisfying to me because when you have a pen and you're putting it on paper, you can actually feel it, and the ink dry. It has smell. It has, there's a lot of stuff going on with it. With the digital art, it's just like, But I'll do it. I'll maybe try it eventually. But for now, I'm going to stick with Moleskine sketchbooks for the rest of my life. I'm going to use sketchbooks and keep it like that. Leonardo da Vinci would probably not have used digital art, okay? He'd probably stick with physical, traditional art. But AI is useful, it's definitely helpful, and I'm definitely for it. You might as well use AI art, right? Before it uses you, before it takes over and destroys the entire planet, you should probably use artificial intelligence. And AI art really isn't art, is it? I mean, it's just basically the computer putting a bunch of images together and creating something. So you're not really doing it. It's a lot different than actually making art, right? Where you're putting in time, effort, attention, and focusing on your craft over years and years, and you get better. But with AI art, you're just typing in some stuff and letting the computer do it. So, I mean, if you want to, do whatever, right? I really don't have a problem with people creating AI art and selling it and making money from it. It's not an issue with me. Personally, I like putting in time. I like actually gaining the skills that it takes to get good at drawing. Although, look, I'm not great at drawing. Nowhere near being good. But I can see that I've improved over the years, and that's what's important to me, is seeing progress, seeing my skills in action, getting better. With AI art, you do you. Maybe I'll use it. I'll use AI art and come up with some stuff. Might as well. But anyways, it's hard for me to be against AI art because I like the digital space. I like how there's a lot of stuff going on the internet, and the fact that we have this technology in the 21st century to use, if it's open source, we have all of this at our fingertips to really do whatever we want, and it gives a lot of freedom and possibilities for people. So I like that aspect. And I mean, imagine artists of the past, if they were alive today, what they would do. Well, maybe they wouldn't do anything. Maybe they would just scroll all day on TikTok, but maybe that wouldn't actually be a good thing. Maybe the fact that they didn't have any technology let them become master artists. Maybe Leonardo da Vinci would have just not made art and instead did nothing. Or maybe it would have three times his masterpieces. I don't know, but that's about it. Quick sketchbook tour, and the next one will probably be later this month if I finish the one that I have right now. But pretty fun sketchbook.